Okay, so a couple of weeks ago I made a video boldly claiming that Cars Race-O-Rama is the worst Cars game ever made. You guys disagreed? The comments showed you disagreed? And honestly, you were all very right. So a lot of suggestions stated that I should play Cars 3 Driven to Win. So I spent £9 whole on a copy of the game for Nintendo Switch, and my god, I want my £9 back, and I'd also like the 6 or so hours I've wasted playing the game before I ran out of patience to play anymore.
Okay, time to race the best of the best.
I've dreamed about this moment for as long as I can remember.
Okay, Mr. McQueen, let's see how you do. Doc and Smokey are fast, so try to keep up. Remember, skill is everything, and these two had the skills. Get ready.
Now, before I even dive into this game, I'm just going to come right out and say it. This game is ugly as shit. I know it's on Nintendo Switch, and I know they tend to dumb down games for this console because it doesn't have as much power, but come on, man, like, this game just looks f***ing awful. If we compare it to the PS4 version, it just... I've got no words.
Like, this is amazing. Hey, it's Louise!
Anyway, so this is Cars 3 Driven to Win, released in 2017 worldwide on literally every platform at the time: Wii U, Nintendo Switch, PS3, 4 and 5, Xbox 360, Xbox One and the Series X/S. It was developed by Avalanche Software, who you may know for developing Cars 2, the Disney Infinity franchise, and most recently, Hogwarts Legacy. So I don't know how they went from making this garbage to making Hogwarts Legacy. I know the game wasn't for everyone, but I had quite a good time with it. Now, both Cars 2 and this game did away with the open hub world style of gameplay for a more linear race-to-race World Cup kind of thing. And in Cars 2 case, more gadgety in battles because that was the theme of the film. Now, I have to say, regardless of performance issues, this game is just not very fun. I'm sure if I was like 5 years old and I had nothing else to do, I would probably be a little bit nicer to it, but I just really struggled to sit down and play this for long periods of time. It was just so mind-numbing.
Hey, Lightning! Thanks for stopping by!
Ill-advised? Chick,
All right, I'll level with you. Old 95 still gets big ratings for some reason.
Oh, I get it. Fans love a comeback story, right?
Comeback story? That's hilarious! Nah, nothing gets viewers revved like a massive crash and burn.
The voice cast in this game is significantly worse than Race-O-Rama's was. Oh my goodness. Not a single member of the cast of the film comes back to voice their character in this game. Not even Larry the Cable Guy. And that man literally voices Mater in everything, so that's how you know we're in a bad time here. Also, Chick Hicks is now just a presenter for some reason, which is fine, I guess.
Chance of thunder!
So I was really not a fan of the controls for this on Nintendo Switch, purely because I've spent a lot of time playing Mario Kart. Now, the acceleration button is the right trigger on the back of the Switch controller, which on Mario Kart is the drift button that I would use. And to drift in Cars 3, you press A, which is the button you use to accelerate in Mario Kart, so frequently my brain was just getting very confused. On top of that, there's just a lot of other things you need to remember whilst playing this in terms of controls, which kind of just make it unnecessarily complicated. I got used to it quite quickly, but I think for any kids playing this game, it's almost too complicated, with having to go on 2 wheels, drive in reverse, do all the stunts in the air. I don't know, it just seems a bit too much. So if you're watching this video and you're looking at the gameplay thinking, wow, he's terrible, then yeah, fair enough.
There we go. Reliant Robin.
So the game does have quite a few game modes, but a lot of them are really just quite half-baked. You have your standard race, where it's just, there's no gadgets, there's nothing, it's just a race. You have a battle race, which is the race with weapons, it's just basically Mario Kart, but You have Takedown, where players must use weapons and power-ups to take out loads of other cars. It's kind of cool, but again, it gets very samey very quickly. There's a stunt showcase, which is essentially just score loads of points from doing air tricks, which again is cool at first but gets very samey. There's time trials, there's a playground mode which is like a sandbox but very small areas and it's not really that interesting. And then what I would say is that should have been the most interesting of all is the master level events. Now I thought these would all be quite cool boss levels, and they are designed to be boss levels, but really they're just repeats of the game modes you've already played by the time you've unlocked them. The master level events feature characters such as Miss Fritter, the giant bus, that's just another race, Mater the Greater, which is the stunt Mater, and as I've just stated, I'm sure you can guess what that one is. Chick Hicks is just the takedown mode, you just shoot loads of small Chick Hicks, and Jackson Storm is just another race. So that it's just very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. See, now I've changed my reasoning that Cars 3 is the worst Cars game. And it's not because it's offensively bad, it's just because it's so painfully mediocre. There's no character or charm to it, it's soulless, and it's just so repetitive that it just makes it a slog to get through. When I rinsed through Race-O-Rama for the previous video, it was entertaining at least. Sure, it was frustrating at times because of the goofy physics and some of the dialogue is like hilariously cringe, but like at least it had some character. I think another glaring issue that Cars 3 Driven to Win faces is the fact that Cars 3 as a film just isn't as either good or iconically ridiculous as Cars 1 and Cars 2 were. The first few games were all around before Cars 2 came out, and whilst Cars 2 the game was also made by Avalanche Studios, that one also felt like it had more character and more going for it than this game ever has. In fact, I've seen Cars 3 twice, and the only thing I remember about that film is that very sad crash at the start. Something else that Cars 3 does that is incredibly frustrating is it pretends like it has a lot of content. It has this really fancy Hall of Fame 136 set of missions, which after about an hour you quickly start to learn are the most empty, easy, soulless set of missions ever. There's a few that are maybe challenging, some that are quite time consuming, but overall they're all very samey. It looks as though there's a lot to do, but there really isn't. Another thing, unlockables. Unlockables in games should be something that you want to work towards. It feels rewarding when you reach them. But unlocking stuff in this game, you kind of look at it and go, okay, that's cool. It didn't help that I don't know 90% of the characters in this game because I don't remember the film. But I unlocked characters and I thought, who? What? What is that?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Another feature that Cars 3 is severely lacking is online multiplayer. It has local co-op, but every racing game these days has online. I mean, it's not like this game had the excuse of being old. It came out in 2017. There's no reason to not have online multiplayer in your game in 2017. Especially when you're putting it on the Switch against Mario Kart. Come on. Really? Now, I figured I should probably say something nice about this game as well, because I have just sat here and moaned the whole time. So, I will say the models of the cars themselves do look really nice, and the soundtrack goes pretty hard. In fact, it's probably one of the best things about this game. And, unlike its early THQ predecessors, the physics engine in this one seems to function a little bit better, so you have a lot less glitchy gravity moments, but they're still present. I think that's literally about as much as I can say in terms of the good. I mean, I guess children will like it. That's the only other thing I can say. Now, interestingly, of the 3 platforms this game has a Metacritic score on, the Nintendo Switch is the joint worst one. The PS4 version of this game has a very okay score of 72 out of 100. Not too bad. I think the game just runs a lot better on there, but the Nintendo Switch and Xbox One versions both have 59 out of 100. Now, I've not played the Xbox version, but the Switch version, it just has so many performance issues and the game just doesn't look as nice as it does on other consoles, and that is obviously because the Switch isn't as powerful. But my review of this is purely based on my gameplay experience rather than what the game ran like. That pretty much takes us to the end of our journey through Cars 3 Driven to Win. Now, what do you guys think of this game? I will now stand by the fact that this is the worst Cars game, and I'd like to extend my apologies to anyone who was offended by my Race-O-Rama comments. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications for future uploads. I will see you all in next week's video. Bye bye.